Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. Welcome to the show. As always, thank you for inviting me to your home each and every Saturday morning to offer you guys this live free Q&A dog training session. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, watching on the replay, as Donna just did, good morning, Donna. Please put a comment in. Let me know you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. I really do appreciate all the comments that we get on this thing each and every week. The questions have been phenomenal recently. So let me know you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from, and we'll get rolling on this. So good morning, Donna. Hope everything's well with you and Rich and the kids, and of course Stark. Good news for my folks on Long Island. As of right now, the first 2 weeks of October, I'm planning a trip up to New York to do some training sessions. So if anybody is interested, please let me know. We got to set up my schedule. I will be, putting it out on my Facebook page as well as Remember Me Rescue's Facebook page once I confirm it. But it definitely looks like it's going to be the first 2 weeks of October. Getting in on the first, I think. So somewhere around there. Figured I'd reach out to you via text, Donna, but we'll definitely reach out to you and arrange it around your schedule. Keep in mind, guys, when I do the traveling up to New York, I got to try to set up my route, where I'm not going to bounce from all over Long Island, try to hit, one area one day, another area another day, but we'll get it worked out. And of course, I'll try to always work my schedule around yours as best as possible. So with that being said, anybody who's been watching the last few weeks, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, we did a live training session with Patrice regarding her dog Macy, who was having some leash reactivity issues, some other issues that, we discussed. Good morning, Michelle, Rob, Athena, and Bergen. So Patrice has been kind enough to keep me posted on how the training's going. And guys, that's one thing I ask, if you do ask your questions on here and, I give you some advice, follow up with me. Let me know how things are going. Maybe we need to clarify something that, the object is, even through this live platform, that we're helping the dogs. So feedback is always important to me. It helps me make sure we're doing the right job for you guys and helping the dogs. So I'm going to read a little bit of a snippet from an email that she was kind enough to send me yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to respond to her. So if she's watching this, I apologize for not responding yesterday. And I'm going to paraphrase it as best I can. Just she wanted to know I wanted an update. She says she's been using the collar and all the tips I've given her. Now we introduced a prong collar to Maisie via virtual, guys. So it shows you how far virtual training can go. We can definitely help you virtually, which is definitely a more economical way of training because I don't have to charge so much for doing virtual. Macy is doing amazingly well. We had our friend's dog here for the past 2 weeks, which I think you guys remember us talking about, and it was a concern of hers to how to continue the training while the guest dog is there. I think the dog's name is Harry or Henry or something like that. And I said, you just continue. You just added a member to the pack for a few weeks. It's like having family members come over and your kids are in school. They still have to go to school. So she did an amazing job with that. She was very concerned about Macy going backwards during this boarding, process that she had with the other dog. And the best part is Macy continued to improve, even though the other dog isn't as well behaved. Now, what I find amazing in this email that she sent me is, as much as I talk about energy, our energy helping other dogs, helping the dog, our energy. You hear me talking about it, I sound like a broken freaking record half of the time. But here's what I really like. Some of her training even rubbed off on our friend's dog. He learned not to cross thresholds without permission just by watching Macy. He also hasn't been attacking dogs on the leash. Macy and I are in the lead. Our husband was walking Harry behind, and Macy picked up the cues. A lot of this the credit goes to Patrice and her husband, of course. Their energy is spot on. Harry, yeah, um, was reading the energy of them, but not only was Harry responding to the energy of Patrice and her husband, but he was also responding to the energy of Macy, and Macy was actually setting the example of this is how we're supposed to act without the verbal, which is a beautiful thing to watch because they can correct each other without the verbal cues that we use and all this other stuff. One dog can help another dog, and in some cases, unfortunately, one dog can hurt another dog. Um, Depending on how well balanced your dog is, will help other dogs. I've said this time and time again. One good dog in a neighborhood can change a neighborhood because they read energy. And I used to, when I lived up on Long Island, we used to walk Zoe up and down our block. And a lot of dogs, people walk their dogs, especially during the beginning of the pandemic, and you'd hear dogs barking up and down the block as a dog passed or whatever, whatever. And when we walked Zoe, of course, we got the same thing. Dogs were barking behind the fence, behind the doors, whatever. But after a while, when Zoe walked by, those dogs didn't react. Why? Because Zoe's energy was being transferred. Patrice, I just used the example, that email that you sent me. And good morning, by the way. What a great email. Thank you for getting back to me on that. I apologize for not responding to you yesterday. It was just a crazy day. But Zoe's energy was being transported, whatever, communicated to the other dogs from a distance because Zoe doesn't react to the nonsense. The dogs that were walking in the neighborhood that were barking behind, when dogs were walking, barking behind the fence, those dogs on the leash were reacting. So, of course, it just fed and got louder and louder and louder, and all the dogs in the neighborhood joined in. So, there's where bad energy feeds bad energy, but good energy creates good energy. So by Zoe always being so calm, and I've even seen it here in the complex, yes, we still get barked at by a lot of dogs. Um, Still things like that go on. But what I noticed is it's not as intense as it was. So if somebody new moved in, their dog's a barker, they bark, 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 bark every time we walk by. And now you don't hear that long, continuous barking. They're like, oh, it's Zoe. She's not going to feed into our nonsense. So I am so proud of you, Patrice, and your husband and Macy for setting the example for Harry how to behave. And as long as Harry's owners continue what you were doing with Harry or Henry, I forgot. Um, Harry can have a better life, a better walk, a better, existence there, coexisting with the neighborhood. So it just goes to show you, because Macy set a good example for Harry. Harry learned by observing how Macy did things. Macy learned threshold management. Macy sits calmly at the door. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Let me mimic this. And of course, Patrice and her husband's energy is spot on. So Harry got it even that much quicker because all three of the pack were in the same, they were communicating together. And that's beautiful, guys. If you think about it, that line of communication, that open communication, energy is the communication. Leash is your cable talking to your dog, and you can convey so much. It's amazing how one dog can help another. But then again, keep in mind, if you have a dog and the dog is a high energy or not balanced very well, and you do get another dog, some of those bad habits can go to another dog. And that's what I tell people. That's why we talk about this, and we have to be the ultimate of pack leaders. We have to stay in the right energy levels and stay that calm, assertive energy that I talk about. Because if we stay in one place, the dogs are going to follow us. They are our mirrors. Guys, I can't stress it enough. They are our mirrors. If you're a hyper person, your dog's a hyper. If you're a calm person, the odds are your dogs are calm. If you're that person that thinks, what if my dog does this, does this, does this, does this, your dog is going to be what if, what if, what if, what if too. So it's so important. And the example that I got in this email this week from Patrice really goes to show how important it is. And it's beautiful. That's that journey that I talk about week in, week out. That journey of taking our dogs on this training path. And, there was a fork put in the road, and because Patrice and her husband are following the tools, which is the knowledge that I gave them, Macy took the path the right way, and now Harry's starting to follow. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful, guys. It brings tears to my eyes when I hear it. So it's so possible. And here's the best case. Energy feeds energy. So with that being said, we're going to talk again about leash reactivity, because I've been seeing a lot of things on Facebook about leash reactivity. And it starts at threshold management. I know Donna can speak for it. I know Patrice can now speak to it. How much just controlling the threshold has changed their dogs. It's amazing, because we're starting our walk, getting to the outside world, and that's what I'm talking about, threshold management. I know there's episode 1 of how to put the leash on the dog calmly and get to the door. But if we can start our walk calmly, it's going to go out to the outside world that way. And if you get out the door calmly, the threshold calmly, and you only take 2 steps and the dog starts getting excited, stop. It's okay to stop and regroup it and continue. It's worth it. In the beginning, it's a lot of work. I mean, I know with Stark, threshold management was a lifesaver. And it wasn't a quick process, but they took the time to do it. Michelle says Bergen has not picked up on Athena's reactive towards other dogs. Good. Hopefully she won't. She won't. Hopefully she won't cause a problem. She won't. And obviously we're working with Athena on that. We had the trainer bring his calm dog to practice. How'd that go? Let me know. Because that's so important. And like I said, I bring Zoe on a lot of my reactive. I brought Zoe to Stark. For a lot of the reactive dogs that I've worked with in the past, and I brought her to Stark, and it wasn't about them interacting socially. It was about when I bring Zoe for a reactive dog, it's about teaching that dog a better way to meet another dog. Donna says, yes, it was a lifesaver for many reasons and situations. Absolutely. So when I bring Zoe, what I do is, like I said, I always tell people this. I go on opposite sides of the street, not me personally because I have somebody helping me, but we're on the opposite side Zoe's on one side of the street. I'm on the other side of the street with the dog, and we don't move if the dog I'm working with is anything but calm. I'm not letting them meet each other on this and sniff each other and get all excited on the leash and yay, I got to play, mate, blah, 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 blah. Bergen did great. Athena's getting better, practicing ignoring the dogs, being neutral. Neutral's good. Again, my interpretation of when dogs meet on leash is not about the excitement. It's not about playing on the leash. One, it's dangerous. They can get tangled up in the leash. They can get hurt. We can get tangled up in the leash. We can get hurt. So why are we letting them do that? So if we control that excitement, and that's why I do things from either side of the street. So the dog I'm working with, if they start getting excited, any other state of mind but calm, we stop, I correct, I wait till we're calm, and then we continue our path. So what we'll do is we actually crisscross, just keep path. And eventually we shorten up the distance where we're together. And then usually, and I think I did it with Stark, and if I remember correctly, I end up taking the leash and I just go. With both dogs, I just go, boom, we're gone. And the dogs are now in pack mode mentality. And packs, when they travel, are not excited. They're traveling. They're going from point A to point B. We have a single-minded mission. We're going there. And that's a better way for dogs to walk. I watch it here all the time. These people walk their dogs, and the dogs are out, and they're dragging owners all over the place. And then they see another dog doing the same thing. And Hello from crappy Long Island. Michelle, welcome. Um, I'll be coming up to visit first 2 weeks of October, it looks like. So we'll touch base before I get there. Let me know what I can do to help, of course. Um, Miss everybody from Long Island. Yes, you had both dogs. Stark on leash. Stark did great. I did okay too. You did okay. You had to get over that initial, oh my God, what's Stark going to do? And then when you saw him and Zoe walking together, the key was, and it was the spur of the moment. What I did with Stark and Zoe is we just went to the backyard and dropped leashes. And it took Stark a little bit. We had to make some corrections, but eventually they were in the yard, and Stark was a reactive dog, where they were totally, because of Zoe's energy, actually helped Stark realize she's the type of dog that doesn't want to be sniffed all 100% of the time, or a dog in our face. And Stark took the cues from Zoe, and they just coexisted in the yard. They didn't play, they didn't really interact very much, but they existed, and there was no bloodshed. And I just went with my gut at that point. It wasn't a planned thing. I wasn't thinking of, when I first started the session, going into the yard with the two dogs. But Stark did so good in our interaction on the leash that we had to take it up to the next level. And Stark did great. Like I said, most of the time it's me getting the owners to see it so they can let go of that bad energy. And that's exactly what happened with you guys, and it was phenomenal. I think I've told you guys I'm going to be working with somebody coming up when I get back here from New York, whose dog is definitely picking up on her energy. She holds that leash. That dog wants to kill me. I take the leash. The dog is my friend. And it's so important. And that's why I talk about energy till I'm blue in the face, and why I go through all this stuff with you guys. Because the more you can check your energy, check your, guys, check your egos at the doors, women, check your estrogen at the doors, and just work with that calm energy. I've been saying it for the last few weeks. Calm, confidence equals control. And that's all we're looking for. So the more we're thinking of the what ifs, what if my dog does this? You're going to create the what if. Stop thinking that way. Just visualize what you want, stay in that calm state of mind, and go with it. Go with it. Just go with the calm confidence. I tell people all the time, and I've seen it a million times, and it's one of the things I really can't stand when people do it, but it's part of the learning curve, is they tell their dog to sit and stay. And then because they got to walk away. They're going to go 20 feet away from the dog, and they're doing this: stay, 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 stay. As they're walking away, they're turning around. There's no confidence there. And the dog is actually reading that. And if you don't have confidence in what you're asking your dog to do, how could your dog ever trust you? Think about it. Trust is so important, and that's where the confidence comes in. Because if you're confident, your dog is going to read that energy and say, "Okay, I can trust this person. Feel that energy. They're confident." It's no different than if you're I'm going to use an accountant, and the tax laws, the laws. When you talk to me, and I hear that confidence, and I feel that confident energy, I know I trust you to do my books, for lack of better terms. You know, Imagine going to a doctor, an orthopedic surgeon. And well, I have a pretty good success rate on this, and it's going to be a surgery, and we're going to go in, and we're going. I'm walking the hell. I'm running the hell out. But when I had my knee surgery and my shoulder surgery, my doctor's like, "I got this. This is what it's going to be." Boom, boom, boom. I trusted that doctor, and that's what our dogs are looking to us for. They're looking for that trust. And that's when I say sit, stay, I do sit, stay. Well, you can't see, stay. And I turn around and I walk away. And they get it because, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's trusting me to do what he asked me to do. Let me follow this guy to the end of the earth. And that's what I see. But that's that calm confidence equaling control, guys. Donna, Rich, you got, Alex, Brian, you guys are exemplifying this. Patrice, I haven't had the privilege of doing one-on-one in-house private session with you, but based on everything you've sent me regarding Macy, you're exhibiting that calm, confident control. And it works. Dog training, guys, is not rocket science. It's not. It's believing in a methodology or a theology, whatever the hell the word is, and not thinking about doing it, not just do it. Thinking about it means I may succeed, I may fail. I'll try to do it. I may fail, I may succeed. I'm going to do it. I'm going to perform that surgery, and it's going to be successful. It's a mindset that we need in this world today. It's about having that calm, confident control. And think about how that can translate to our everyday lives, dealing with our family, dealing with our friends, dealing with our coworkers. I'm going to follow, and I've done it my whole business career. I'm going to follow leaders that project that confidence to me because I know they're going to steer me right. And that's what our dogs are looking for in us, is that confidence that we're going to ask you to do something, but we know you can do it and we know you're going to stay safe. I do this with insecure dogs. If I'm working with an insecure dog, my confidence level goes up higher and higher and higher because I got to show them I'm never going to put them in a position that's going to hurt them, and they got to see it to believe it. And once I get them past that threshold, and there's another word for the threshold, they are, you can see the weight of the world lifted off these insecure dogs. But it comes from here, guys, not from here, from here. We control our dogs with our minds, not with our muscles. But the energy comes from deep down in your gut. And it's you got to do it. So let me know if this makes sense, guys, because and the people that have been using it, let me know, let the fellow listeners know it works because it works. So I'm not getting any questions today. That's weird. We're gonna may wrap up early this week. I put this out to a lot of people, guys, and remember, I always say, please share this information with your friends and your fellow dog lovers around the country, around the world. Get them to join us on the live platform to ask the questions, so their question may help you because you may not even realize your dog is having that unwanted behavior. And again, they can always reach out to me via text or email if they have questions beforehand. If they want to be my special guest when I do my live things, which I'm still working on because nobody's getting back to me, I would love to do my live training sessions, 15 minutes free to the world, for the world to see. We're redoing our Mastering the Walk video series. Good morning, John from Virginia Beach. Anthony, how are you? Thank you. My two small dogs, the best, finally lovely. But when someone comes to the house barking nonstop for 30 to 5 minutes, then it stops. So annoying. Absolutely, that would annoy the crap out of me if I can't have a conversation with somebody for 3 to 5 minutes. As you guys can tell, I love talking. So again, Anthony, what I would recommend doing is set your dogs up for success. And how do you set your dogs up for success? You're going to put them on leashes, and you're going to have a friend or a relative or somebody who lives in the house knock on the front door, ring the doorbell, make the noise that normally happens when people come to their home, and do not open the door if your dogs are in an excited state of mind. And so what you do is somebody knocks on the door, dogs are like, yep, 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 yep. You're going to have them on leash and you're going to be, no. And wait till the state of mind goes calm. You got to stay calm. Don't worry about opening the door and getting people in because we don't want people standing outside. Let them stand outside. When the dogs are calm, and remember, you got two. So energy feeds energy. So if one's really excited, the other one's going to follow. And my question would be, when they get in that state of mind, do they ever redirect at each other? Because I've seen that too. Even though it's excitement, I gotta, and they go after each other. But you wait till they're calm, and then you start the process of opening the door. And I'm going to tell you, because it happens more times than not, You got them calm. They're sitting. Okay, good. Now I can open the door. You go to reach for the doorknob. It starts all up again. Stop, regroup, bring them back down to calm. And then when your guests come in, their job is no look, no touch, no talk. They're not there to interact with your dogs. They're there to see you and your family. They come in, they say hello to you, they ignore the dog. Yeah, they definitely feed off of each other. Yeah, so it's real important. And look, because sometimes the one you think is causing the problem may not be. It's really weird. But if you have one that you definitely think is more high energy, higher excitement, that one's going to need more and more work. More than Jenna. Um, they're going to need more and more work, but it does work. And like we were using the example earlier, I don't know if you were on when I was talking to Patrice about Patrice. Her dog Macy actually helped her neighbor's dog that she was watching for 2 weeks learn different rules because she controlled Macy's energy, helped Harry, um, learn new behaviors in a 2 week period just because Harry was visiting. So if you control that excitement at the door, and when your guests come in, they don't look at the dogs, they don't touch the dogs, they don't acknowledge the dogs, they say hello to you, your family, whatever. And then when they're calm, you can bring them to your guests and they can get the affection they want. Because what happens is we rush to open up the doors, we're feeding into that excitement. So if you open the door when they're excited, it's basically, Monty, what's behind door number one? And we give them the prize. You're rewarding that excitement. So we definitely don't want to reward the excitement. So you open the doors only when they're calm. Your guests come in, ignore the dogs, go to the normal wherever gathering places, kitchen, living room, den, family room, backyard, whatever. And when the dogs are calm, we bring them to get the affection that they want. I've told people it's so important to do this that you can put a note on your front door. Pups are in training. It may take us a while to answer the door, and if you don't like it, leave. Because it's really important to help your dogs understand that front door has to represent calm. And if you go to my YouTube channel and watch episode 2, Threshold Management, on the playlist How to Leash Train Your Dog, it's kind of the same thing. It's about walking, but it's pretty much the same thing. About creating that space around the door as a calm zone. So I hope that made sense. Have you had experience with picky eaters? Bergen is driving us crazy. With her not wanting to eat. She'll eat from our hands and spoon, but that's not practical. She looks great, and it looks great and is in good weight. Then don't worry about it. I tell you people all the time, dogs will never starve themselves as long as she's medically healthy, and it sounds like she is because she's at a good weight and looks great. I would do my normal feeding routine. I feed in the morning. I put food down. I give them. They walk away from the food bowl for 15 minutes. Food goes away till the next meal. I don't worry about it. I don't lose sleep over this. And then at dinner, I feed them again. Anthony, let me know how it goes. Send me a message. Shoot me a message. Let me know how it goes. Just work on it. Work on it. Work on it, guys. It's worth it. And then at dinner time, you just put the same bowl of food down. Eventually they eat. I used to babysit a dog who was terrified of the world. And it broke your heart if you ever saw this dog. I love Patty to death. She's a sweetheart dog. And once she lightens up, she's great. She's so fun-loving. She's terrified for whatever reason. So the first 2 or 3 days, sometimes in my house, she didn't eat. But eventually she did. And it's over. If you start giving in and feeding them out of hand or off a spoon or whatever, they get used to it. I had a friend of mine who fed their dog, because it went to the vet and it was traumatized at the vet. And she may be a grazer, but we can't leave food. No, don't let them be. Dogs are not grazers, guys. They're not cows. They don't eat all day like that. They eat, dogs in the wild don't just eat when they do their hunt, they do their kill, they eat. What they don't finish, they bury for another meal. They're not grazing animals. Don't let them graze. Just do this. It'll be harder for you than it will be for her. She will eat. But like my friend who felt so bad for her dog, came back from the vet and went to McDonald's and got cheeseburgers because she felt so bad, and she hand fed the dog in the car. That's all the dog ate for the next 10 years. is hand-fed food. Yeah, it's a normal instinct to bury food. You know, huskies are the best. Huskies are one of the neatest eaters. My daughter has a husky, and I actually did the research on it. You put the bowl of food down, and this dog will actually eat half a bowl of food and have a perfect line. It's amazing to watch. I don't know why. Charlotte and I say hello, hello, Joan. How's everything going? Um, so yeah, just like I said, it may take 2-3 days for her to eat the full amount, but that's okay. Just keep an eye on her, make sure she stays hydrated because that's really, really important. Um, but don't fall for this routine and don't, when I had the dog Patty, my wife, let me hand feed. No, let her learn it's safe enough to eat or whatever whatever's going through her head. It's so important. Just stick to the course and be confident in what you do, because if you're going to sit there and say, oh my gosh, she may not eat, you're going to create a negative atmosphere, and we don't need negative atmospheres around these dogs. So just put the meal down at 7 o'clock in the morning. She doesn't eat it, goes away. Dinner's finished. You have 15 minutes to finish your food bowl if you walk away. Not, goes away till 5 o'clock meal, whatever it is. And then if she doesn't eat, goes to the next day. She will eat. Dogs will, as far as I know, unless there's something medically wrong with the dog, they will not starve themselves. So different than cats. So again, for the overexcitement at the door, guys, don't open the door when the dog is excited, or dogs in this case. And I've seen it on walks with packs of dogs. I've seen it at front doors where that overexcitement, I gotta get what's behind that door, and the dogs actually could turn on each other, and they're the most friendly, loving pack in the world, but it's just they get so frustrated, and no dog wants to be in that state of mind. They don't. So it's our job to confidently guide them on a new way of doing it. That's all it is. Hey guys, today's a new day. This is how we're going to greet our guests, and you're going to greet our guests like ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you running at them. I don't want you barking at them. I don't want you jumping on them. So again, we can change the narrative. That's all you're doing. Is teaching them a different way to do it. And of course, when they do it, high praise, high reward if you want. But again, you don't have to do, oh my God, what good, no. Oh my God, what good dogs I have. That is their reward. That energy that I talk about all the time is a reward for a dog. So you can use treats, of course, if they're food motivated, but don't give them the treat if they're in an excited state of mind. If you get them to be calm, you want to give them a treat, that's fine. But most dogs that are overexcited, when people come to the house, their treat can be, okay. So Anthony says when guests leave, they sense it and they bark like crazy. Again, they don't want them to leave. So that kind of tells me a couple things, Anthony, is the dogs, once they accept somebody into the pack, it's their pack. So one, you need to fire them, because in the pack dynamic, the only ones allowed to leave are the leaders. So again, set them up for success. Take away. If you do the threshold, what I'm talking about with them coming in, it may change that dynamic altogether, because you took control now of the person coming in. So you're the leader of these people because you control the dogs to protect those people, that part of the pack coming in. But the same thing, when they're getting ready to leave, have them on a leash. And if they misbehave or have this unwanted behavior, correct them and teach them a better way to do it. Tell them it's not their job to keep the pack safe. It's your job. That's what I noticed when a lot of dogs, I've seen it where they bark like crazy because somebody's leaving. I've seen them where they, go to grab somebody's ankle or clothing or whatever, because they think they're in charge of the pack. And it could be a teacup Yorkie or a Great Dane. Neither one of them is a good solution. So if they think they're in charge of the pack, they're saying you don't have permission to leave. The only one allowed to really leave without permission would be the pack leader. Same way, as a parent, I don't need my kids' permission to leave. My kids need my permission to leave when they were younger. So again, we need to change that dynamic And I do believe by taking care of the first part of it, which is getting the guests into the home, that second issue may not come up again, because you're changing the dynamic. You're changing it that you're in charge of that person coming in, not them. And it should help with the exit process too. But if it doesn't, put them on a leash and reverse the process. It's just disagreeing with the state of mind they get into, and then knowing when to reward the calmer state of mind. So again, this may be an inconvenience to you guests. They go to leave and the dogs start barking, going crazy. Nope, the guest stops, they stop. Once everybody's calm, guests continue to leave. If they make a mistake, we recorrect. So they learn that no matter what, this is how it's going to be now. And then when they're calm, high praise, high reward if they're food motivated. But always learn to reward the calmer state of mind. The worst thing is with little dogs is when they're barking like idiots, and I hate using that term, but it sounded good. We pick them up. And if you pick them up, you're actually empowering them to be tougher, bigger. Height makes right. So if we pick them up, we're putting them in a position of power. That's why it's so important to do more on leash with little dogs. Well, all dogs, but keep them on the floor and let them know their role in your pack, and they will follow that as long as your energy stays calm. And if it takes 5 minutes to open the door, you're not doing this. Oh my God, the people are sitting out there for 5 minutes. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, they're trying to leave and it's taking 15 minutes for me to get the. If you're going to get all that worked up, they're going to read that energy and they're not going to sense that calm confidence to get the control you want. So I hope that makes sense, guys. It's so important. I talk about threshold management all the time. Threshold management is about the walk predominantly, but it's about anything. Any part-time you're doing something with your dog, and if you can visualize what I'm talking about, and they have that unwanted behavior, use that as a threshold. Use it as a threshold. Remember, all thresholds have to be calm, going through that threshold. So if they have the unwanted behavior, and in this case, when somebody leaves, that's a threshold now. Okay, this is a threshold. This threshold has to represent calm. Let me get my guests out of the house. Hope this makes sense, guys. So we're at the magic, about 40 minutes right now, and this is good. I love the last couple of questions we got. Michelle, work on it. Don't worry about, as long as her weight and she's healthy, feed her. If she doesn't eat, put the food away to the next meal. She will eventually eat. And remember, guys, anybody feeding dogs, feeding should always represent calm. It should never represent excitement. It's unhealthy for the dogs. It can lead to potential problems down the road. So make sure when you feed your dogs, everything is based on calm. Dogs should be focused on you, not the food when we feed dogs, because you want to be more relevant than the food source. Threshold management, guys, is so crucial to the success of your dogs. And remember, thresholds are not necessarily the actual physical door. It's any part of the training journey. And remember, that journey is such a great place to be, because the end is that beach with the Mai Tais or pina coladas, chilling out in the sun and the sand and the blue water. So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up for the week. We will be back live next week if everything goes according to my plan. And as always, thank you for inviting me into your homes each and every Saturday morning. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here and bring you this platform. All I ask in return is please share this with your fellow dog lovers and around the country and around the world. Let's try to get hundreds, if not thousands, of people viewing this every week and asking a ton of questions. Questions are always good. No training questions are ever off limits. We can talk about different tools. We can talk about different methodologies or methodologies. Yeah, that's the right word, I think. But with that being said, guys, as always, thank you for inviting me into your homes each and every Saturday morning. It's truly an honor and a privilege to bring this to you. As always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. And remember, together, we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. We'll see you next week.